Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Anizi with What If Naruto Was Loved by Chakra, the full movie. So, let's get started. We start off a few days after the QB attack. Minato is sitting in his office deep in thought. A lot has happened in the past few days. The council demanded answers about the Ninetales breaking loose. Minato decided against revealing what had happened and labeled it as a seal breaking, since he didn't want the Uchiha clan to face any scrutiny or the village to be in public that there was a rogue Uchiha around. However, Danzo had pushed a little bit of suspicion to certain council members that it was the Uchiha. He had to inform the elders, who were not pleased with the information being hidden, but most of them agreed because none of them wanted to take on Minato. He did, however, make the information about the Ninetales and its chakra being sealed away public. The villagers praised Mito and Menma as heroes who stripped the demon fox of his powers. They seemed a bit apprehensive about Naruto, but Minato was sure it would pass, as it was only a few days after the attack and they needed to calm down. By some miracle, Kushina had also survived with no permanent damage. Minato thought it was Tsunade's doing, but even she was perplexed. It was then attributed to her Uzumaki blood in the end. Right now, Minato was waiting for Jiraiya, who he had summoned to the village. He hears someone enter through the window and sees his sensei. "Hey brat," Jiraiya greets as he walks into the office, as Minato smiles and immediately activates the privacy seals on the room, ensuring no one outside could hear the conversation. He then proceeds to explain everything to Jiraiya from the beginning to the end, where he finishes the song and has a frown on his face. "I think this is it, sensei. What you spoke about, you know, prophecy," Minato says. "The shinobi world will face a great danger. In the coming days, a child of prophecy will be born. They will hold great power within them, either save the world or bring it to its end," Jiraiya had told Minato and Kushina. "I believe it's one of our children, the child of prophecy," Minato says, as Jiraiya adopts a thoughtful pose. "I believe so too. It's got to be either Menma or Mito. They hold great power. Naruto's useless, he just has the soul, as the prophecy said. So what do we do? Train them, of course. Prepare them to save the world," he shouts in an overly happy manner, as Minato smiles. "Come on then, take me to my godchildren," he says, as they both got up and leave to head towards Minato's home. Time skip, 7 years after the Ninetales attack. The Uzumaki estate. We find two adults watching over two children. The first adult is Minato Namikaze himself, and the second is Kushina Uzumaki. The first child is the fourth's firstborn daughter, Mito. She has red hair that reaches past her shoulders. The second is a boy who looks exactly like Naruto, but he has red hair. Currently, Naruto was watching Minato and Kushina watching over the kids practicing taijutsu katas. They made the decision to train Menma and Mito as much as possible, so that when the masked man finally emerges from the shadow, the prophesied savior will be ready to face him. Minato had tried to track the man down using his flying Raijin, but found only a piece of flesh buried in the ground. It was then taken to the village to see if there was a positive DNA match, but with any shinobi in the data book, they couldn't find anything. One of the reasons they couldn't find who it was because they didn't have any DNA signatures from before the village, so even if it was Madara Uchiha, they wouldn't be able to get a match. They thought it was a fake, but since they didn't have Madara's DNA, they couldn't really confirm if it was Madara or someone related to Madara. "Alright, that's enough for now, you two," says Minato. "Mito, you move with a lot of grace and control, but when you attack, try to exert more force. Menma, it's opposite for you. You attack with too much strength, but no speed, and your taijutsu is really bad. So you need to learn how to have more control and grace when you attack, as well as speed," Minato assesses, as they both nod at this. "Alright, let's head for some lunch," Kushina says. "Alright, let's hurry. The sooner we finish, the sooner we can get back to training," Minato says. "You just get left in my dust," Mito says. "You're already in my dust," Menma says back, as the duo begins laughing. Alright, enough you two. You two have to work together. As far as I'm concerned, you still have a long way to go before you're leaving anybody in dust," he says, suddenly grabbing Mito and Menma, slinging them over his shoulder like sacks, while Kushina smiles. The kids protest, but soon the whole family is laughing, as the person who is watching Naruto frowns at this. From a young age, Naruto could tell his siblings were receiving way more love and attention than himself, from not just his parents, but the entire village as well, as they were dubbed the heroes when it was actually him who was the hero. He's the one who housed the soul. He was the one that had the burden. These lot just had the easy thing, the chakra. But the village saw him as a demon himself. They would whisper behind his back, shoot him glares, tell him to go and kill himself. This was because they thought that he was the monster, the demon, the destroyer itself. And then his parents came and explained to him that they will be training Menma and Mito, preparing them for the shinobi and the prophecy, and that he wouldn't be receiving any of the same training, and that he would only get the training from academy. As Naruto, saddened, agreed, because he knew that there was no point in speaking back to them, as that would just result in him being slapped or sent to his room like any time else he had spoken back to Kushina or Minato. Naruto was really clever compared to everybody in this house. He was faking his stupidness. He was really clever. He had lots of knowledge, but he never had any fighting styles. He was basically a civilian academy student at this point in life because his parents neglected to teach him any of clan shinobi techniques. As Naruto got older, the neglect he faced got worse and worse, to the point where his family went out without him. And how did his siblings feel about this? Well, Menma and Mito would constantly mock him for being weak, and when he was around other kids, they would convince him to not go near them, and if he did, they would convince the kids to bully him. Naruto was soon walking outside in the village as he saw a crowd form around him. Look, there he is. Look at him. A disgrace to his family. How dare he calls himself the fourth son. As when Naruto heard this, he in his head said, since when did I call myself the fourth son? I ain't proud to be the son of that neglecting bastard. As then he heard some people call him demon. As Naruto takes off running, he wasn't a demon. He hated Minato and Kushina. How dare they use his body to protect these ungrateful rats. Naruto hated his village and hoped that they would perish. Naruto closed his eyes, remembering how his two siblings unlocked his chakra as soon as he arrived into the forest of death and sat down. Naruto started meditating and felt a surge of limitless energy go in him. Naruto opened his eyes and his eyes shifted from 6 rings to red with 9 rings, to having 6 Tomoe in them, to having a blue flower pattern, to having a blue Byakugan, to having multiple other different patterns and things in his eyes, before turning back to his normal eyes, as they all had the resemblance of all the little eyes that they had. For example, they had the flower pattern, 9 rings, Tomoe, and several other patterns in them. After that, the patterns and everything disappeared, as they were just like his normal eyes. Naruto looked around. He could see 360 degrees vision with no flaws, no blind spots. He saw everything in slow motion. He could see chakra signatures. He could see through objects. He had like photographic memories. He was shocked. He had so many different powers. It was like a combination of the Sharingan and Byakugan. As Naruto smirked, he would soon have revenge on all who looked down on him, all who hated him for no reason. Naruto felt his chakra reserves, like his disgraceful mother advised Menma and Mito, and what he felt was shocking to him. It was never ending. His chakra was constantly being refilled every second. Every single time he used it, it was being refilled, but not just refilled. He was getting more and more and more. Like somehow the seal was acting on him, but it wasn't like corrosive chakra like how Menma and Mito first described it. It was something different. Is this some sort of bloodline? Naruto asked himself. But little did he know, this was something way more than a bloodline. This was something or someone that loved him. Suddenly, Naruto felt a kunai coming at him. He punched the ground so hard as the entire forest was destroyed, the debris going towards the attacker. As Naruto looked to see, it was Kakashi Hatake who was injured. As Naruto felt some anger and grabbed the one-eyed shinobi by his neck. As Kakashi felt himself unable to channel chakra anymore, as somehow the chakra was stopped. Naruto sensed some more Anbu coming when they heard the forest be destroyed and saw it. He panicked and wanted to disappear to a place far away from the leafage, and in a flash, he appeared in Uzugakure. Naruto was shocked, and so was Kakashi. Both of them could see it was some form of space-time ninjutsu technique, but Naruto however, was even more shocked as he just wanted to disappear, and he appeared over here while Kakashi was thinking that the demon trained without his sensei's approval as he got angry. As Naruto also regained his anger, remembering the events. Why the hell did you attack me, Hatake? Isn't it enough that you, like the rest of my Arsu family, neglect me and train those pathetic life forms called my siblings? Naruto asked with deep anger in his eyes as Kakashi looked at him in fear. As Naruto's unconscious killing intent, it exceeded Naito's. No, Naruto was the Naito, so it must be the same in Kakashi's head. This only solidified Kakashi's suspicions. You see, when Kakashi was sparring with Might Guy, he saw a huge chakra like none before with his Sharingan, his Mangekyou Sharingan. It was never ending. It surpassed Menma and Mito in the Forest of Death. So when he went to investigate it, not wanting to worry Minato sensei because he wanted his sensei to relax, he saw it was the demon. Kakashi knew one thing, that the demon was somehow regaining his strength and that it might hurt Menma and Mito. So he did what any other loving brother would do for a sibling. He attacked the demon. Kakashi knew that the sensor, like Krishna, couldn't sense the demon's chakra because it blended in with the energy around him. His Sharingan was special, it allowed him to see it. Obito was helping him defeat this demon. You know what you're doing, Kyuubi no Yoko. You think I'll really let you regain the power that my sensei worked really hard to remove from you? Why do you think that your supposed mother and father abandoned you? You're nothing but a murderer. You aren't Naruto Uzumaki. We know Naruto Uzumaki died. You are the Kyuubi no Yoko, the one who destroyed our village, Kakashi said as Naruto's eyes widened. Kakashi was like the rest of them, blaming his grief and anger on Naruto as Naruto got angrier and angrier than before. Kakashi started to clutch his neck as he felt himself being suffocated by Naruto's anger. He couldn't breathe. It was hard. The demon's chakra was making his own chakra suffocate him. Naruto was controlling the chakra inside of Kakashi's body as Naruto's eyes saw everything. He gave a devilish smirk. From this, Naruto learned that anytime he got angry, he could control the chakra in one's body. He memorized this on how to do this for the future. You know, Kakashi, I hated my parents for taking away everything from me so that I could be the scapegoat so their perfect little children could live there happily ever after. But guess what? I wonder how fun it will be to see them suffer, seeing Minato's last student dead on the ground. Perhaps I should make it a war. I just need a cloud village leaf band, Naruto said as unknowingly he used the creation of all things. Well, not him, but the chakra itself used creation of all things and made a cloud headband as Naruto chuckled. Your death will be the catalyst for war. Minato, Krishna, Jiraiya wanted peace. I'll make sure that they'll never get it. That the leaf and everybody in this world will be drowned in war because of my hatred. My hatred cannot be quelled. I will make sure everybody suffers like I have to make them know what it's like to lose everything like I did when that stupid old toad started spouting nonsense about a prophecy. That's right, I know everything. I heard it. One day when spying on my so-called parents, when they were teaching my so-called siblings some chakra control exercises, Naruto said. But don't worry, you don't need to worry about that. Your free trial of life has ended and there's no way to get some more time, Naruto said as he controlled the chakra inside of Kakashi's body, making it crush the shinobi's windpipes and organs before having his head and the cloud headband teleport on the border of the Fire Kingdom, as Naruto also had a few Ambu patrols. Joining patrols killed, Naruto smiled as he teleported home. He wanted the chakra to make ramen for him, and it materialized. He smiled. It's like chakra loves me, he says to himself. Today was such a good and educational day, Naruto thought. A few years had passed. Naruto had passed with flying colors his Genin exams. He was now sitting in the back of the classroom getting glares from all of the females in the class because he got Rookie of the Year and it wasn't their precious Menma or Sasuke-kun. Naruto scoffed. These bitches would definitely end up in some bandits' camp or dead, Naruto said to himself, ignoring them and purposely turning around when they looked at him as if they were some lowly animals, making them angry. Iruka then stepped in and calmed the class down. He started to announce the teams. Naruto zoned out until he heard his team. Naruto Uzumaki, Satsuki Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha, under Fugaku Uchiha, he said, making Naruto angry that he was with two of the most arrogant individuals, actually the second most arrogant duo in the class, right after Menma and Mito. Naruto looked at them to see him getting jealous glares from them, making him just stare at them until they got uncomfortable, as if he was looking through the soul, and then they turned around. As Naruto smirked, that was one way he learned to deal with these peasants. While Naruto was waiting, he remembered what had happened after Minato found out Kakashi and a few Anbu and Jonin squads were killed by some cloud shinobis. A proxy war was going on between the Leaf and the Clouds that supported the other nation's enemies without directly engaging and assassinating high profiles of each nation. The Leaf was winning until Naruto stepped in and assassinated a few Leaf high profiles like the Harano families, the civilian council families, and poisoned Leaf's water supply, destroyed some weapons factories and raided the food. Now the village was basically on life support on Uzugakure, as they were now getting water from there and growing food over there, which Naruto sometimes stole to starve the village. Naruto found out that poison, no matter how dangerous, doesn't hurt him. Not his chakra, but the chakra around and everywhere heals him. Eventually, Fugaku arrived and they were taken to the Uchiha clan training ground. I am Fugaku Uchiha. I'm the head of the Uchiha clan and your sensei. You will address me as such. Now, then, introduce yourselves to the team, he says. Dad, why didn't you go first? So we know, Satsuki said. Sasuke said like a Minecraft villager. Very well, I am Fugaku Uchiha. I like my wife, Mikoto, my heir, Itachi, my son, Sasuke, and my daughter, Satsuki. I dislike the rogue Uchiha, who is the reason that the Uchiha clan is hated. My goal is to help the Uchiha clan thrive and find this traitor and kill him, Fugaku said as Naruto smirked inwardly. He was the one that released the information that the Uchiha had controlled the Naruto into attacking. He spread the rumors, and a little pest called Danzo had confirmed it behind Minato's back. Naruto never worked with Danzo, but he knew that the man couldn't resist destroying the Uchihas because of Tobirama's training. Naruto then had Satsuki and Sasuke introduce themselves. Their goals were the same: to become the heads of the Uchiha clan and take Itachi's place was mostly their goals, and their dislikes and likes, well, it was some childish nonsense, which Naruto did not care about. Now Naruto, I know you're different due to your circumstances and you're more reserved, but if this team is going to work, please introduce yourself, Fugaku said, interested in learning all of Naruto, since he had powers like no ordinary person should have. Fine, Sensei, my name is Naruto. I like ramen. I dislike humans in general. My goal? Well, I don't really know. Maybe to, I don't know, take over the world, Naruto said jokingly, not wanting to say his goal of plunging this world into bloodshed to get revenge on Jiraiya to be known. Wow, aren't you bright? Satsuki spat as Naruto stared at her until she turned around being uncomfortable, making Fugaku sigh. His son and daughter were not going to make this easy, and he had a bet with Minato that his team would be the first to become Jonin, not Minato's brats. Fugaku then told the team about the test and to not eat. Now they were standing in the training grounds the next day. Originally, you will all need to get a bell to pass, but since two of you are siblings and are my children, I know both of you work together pushing Naruto out, so instead you will have to impress me in a fight to pass, Fugaku says, as Satsuki and Sasuke went ahead and showed that they were high genin, passing by impressing Fugaku. Now Naruto stood in front of Fugaku. Very well, Naruto, come at me, Fugaku said as Naruto appeared in front of Fugaku. Hiroshin, no, he didn't tag me, Fugaku said as his eyes turned into the mangaka, only for Naruto to punch him, breaking his arms, which wasn't even registered by his mangaka Sharingan. Dad, Satsuki said as she was about to run in and help her dad, but was stopped by Sasuke. Don't enter this match, you'll get dad disqualified, and there's no way we're gonna let the Uchiha clan be humiliated by losing to a Genin, Sasuke said. He broke dad's arm with a single punch, Sasuke. We need to let go of our pride, Satsuki said. He isn't strong. Satsuki, he was just going up against a non-serious dad. Dad probably let him. Sasuke was cut off. No, look, Dad's using the Mangekyou Sharingan. He's never used it against us. Not even against Itachi. Satsuki gasped, realizing. What the hell? Sasuke said. It seems like you pushed me into using my Mangekyou, Naruto. You passed, Naruto, but I want to show you my power so you respect me. So witness the might of the Uchiha Susanoo, Fugaku said as a yellow perfect Susanoo formed around him. As Naruto sensed Minato, Jiraiya and Krishna appear, as Naruto smiled, this would be the perfect chance to show these lower life forms their place. Fugaku, what is this? Minato demanded. Why are you using Susanoo against a irrelevant child? Jiraiya said. Fugaku, stop this. He's not like Menma Mito. He's useless, Krishna says. It's okay, I could take him, Naruto said, as he heard protests but decided to ignore them, as Naruto's eyes remembered how the Sharingan did the Susanoo, and Naruto's chakra turned golden and formed into a giant dragon avatar around him. Let's fight, Fugaku, Naruto says as he shocked everyone. Menma and Mito appeared and were jealous, demanding Minato and Krishna order Naruto to teach Menma and Mito the technique that he used, as it was too good for a loser like him and it belonged in the hands of a child of prophecy, which Jiraiya and Minato agreed to do after the fight. Naruto in his dragon avatar punched Fugaku, sending him crashing back. He wanted to have fun as Fugaku rushed at Naruto, killing some shinobi in the way. Enraged, no one wanted to be humiliated, but Naruto dodged and shot a beam of chakra at the Susanoo, breaking its bottom half as it was now just a half Susanoo. Fugaku tried to channel more chakra but found that he couldn't. It was as if chakra was just banned from using underneath the Susanoo. He summoned a Susanoo blade and tried to hurt Naruto dragon avatar with it, but it only did nothing. I'm bored. I'm gonna end this now, Naruto said as he whipped the Susanoo with his tail, breaking it and sending Fugaku flying into the wall as Naruto deformed the Susanoo and disappeared. A few hours later, Naruto was seen walking into the council room and had refused to teach Menma and Mito how to do his technique. Minato tried to order him, but Naruto said he would send the technique to Cloud and die rather than give it, pissing Minato and the council off. The council relented, not wanting to have the Cloud learn such a powerful technique. They plotted to steal his technique, and after Naruto left the meeting, they explained their plan to Naruto's team, who agreed. Eventually, Naruto was on the mission to the land of the waves. He had defeated the demon brothers. Naruto sensed the sword coming at him as the chakra in the air got denser and denser, stopping the sword from even getting near Naruto in its tracks, as Naruto grabbed the frozen sword in the air and appeared in front of Zabuza, smashing the sword into Zabuza's skull, killing him. He has killed that man like that, Sasuke said. So what? The ninja was probably weak like those demon brothers, Satsuki said. He isn't Satsuki. That's Zabuza Momochi, the demon of the mist. He killed his entire class to graduate, Fugaku said, scaring Satsuki. He is an A-rank shinobi, Naruto said, appearing behind her, as Satsuki and Sasuke glared at him as their father praised Naruto. With as much jealousy as they could muster, they glared at him. Suddenly, ice semblance came at them, mostly at Naruto. You killed my Zabuza-sama, a hunter yelled, but Naruto manipulated the chakra and the ice shards formed by Haku and had them penetrate him. Is that all? Naruto said. Damn it, the hunter nin said, as Naruto then had the shards that embedded him in Haku move and kill the hunter nin. Naruto and the team eventually defeated Gato and the bandits that were in the Wave Village. As they were now returning, they were surrounded by Jonin and Anbu. He saw his teammate blocking his escape path and having the weapons out. Naruto knew this was an ambush. Lord Hokage has demanded you be captured and your memory searched and sealed for the good of the village, Fugaku said, making Naruto smirk. So that's how it is, Naruto said. I'm sorry, Naruto, you impressed me, but for the good of the village, we will capture you and get your techniques. Minato said I can have several techniques exclusive to my clan, Fugaku said. I was wondering when he would make the move, Naruto said, as he made a giant chakra fireball and blew up the Anbu and Jonin in front of him. As Naruto then saw several Susanoo from the Uchiha clan compound coming towards his location, at least 10 of them, and Coming with him was also Gamabunta and Katsuyu. Behind him was Minato, Jiraiya, Krishna, Menma, Mito and Tsunade, who had appeared using Flying Raijin. Naruto Uzumaki for refusing to train Menma and Mito and give them all your techniques, and for killing the Anbu sent to detain you. You will be captured and tortured until you give it to us, Minato said, as Naruto smiled at him condescendingly. You and what army? Naruto said. Are you stupid? Well, I'm not surprised. We kept you stupid, you dirty monster. But my army is the village that you were part of, Minato said, as Naruto's eyes glowed and every single leaf shinobi had their chakra manipulated by Naruto, causing them to explode. I asked you again, Minato. You and what army? Naruto asked to a horrified Minato. You, what did you do? You destroyed Konoha. Our forefathers worked so hard for this and you destroyed it. Just because you're jealous of your siblings, that we gave them more attention, that we were trying to save this world and utter an era of peace. Minato rushed at Naruto while saying this with his Hiroshin, only for Naruto to manipulate Hiroshin and to use the control over chakra to make Minato slam a Rasengan into Menma's head, half of his head, as Menma started to bleed out. Dad, why? Menma said as he let out raw pain. The Kyuubi's chakra wasn't responding as Naruto ripped it out of Menma and gave it back to Kurama that was sealed inside of him. Menma, no. Oh well, we still have Mito. I guess she's the child of prophecy then, Minato said sickly, forgetting that Menma was his son, as he was no longer used to him. As Naruto appeared behind Mito's and crushed her neck. As you were saying, Naruto said. Damn you, demon, you monster, you murderer, Minato yelled, appearing behind Naruto with his flying Raijin, only for chakra to be ripped out of him and then formed into Rasengan. The chakra of Krishna, Jiraiya and Tsunade was also ripped out as a giant chakra ball Rasengan was formed as Naruto threw it into the village, blowing it up, killing everyone and everything in it, including the root, including where Danzo was hiding. As Naruto smirked, and with that, the stain on this world is gone, Naruto said. As years passed, Naruto crushed the Akatsuki and put the world into bloodshed until eventually he took over the world. It was then, during this time, that chakra personified into a female, and he had his first kiss and married Yui Chakra Hana, a sentient piece of chakra given form, but not just any sentient piece, it was chakra given form, as they ruled over the nations for the rest of their life, and the kids continued to do that. This is the end of What If Naruto Was Loved by Chakra. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you like these type of what ifs, short what ifs, but full, done in one part. Okay guys, that's all for today. Peace.